Hello, and welcome to our webinar. I'm your host, Katie Bavoso from the Channel Company. As the threat of ransomware grows, so does the demand for data backup and recovery software, the global market size of which is projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of nearly 10% through 2027. This opens the door for new business opportunities for resellers. And today, we'll discuss how Arcserve can help you make the most of those opportunities. For more on this, I'm now joined by Janine Edwards, Vice President of Marketing, North America, and Jeffrey Spindler, Director of Sales, also North America, both of Arcserve. Welcome to both of you. It's great to see you. Let's get started with our very first segment, a growing market opportunity. So first off, resellers have many opportunities to offer solutions to protect clients from the unexpected. But what exactly is currently happening in the data protection and backup space right now that is driving new customer needs for VARs to meet?
That is a great question. And thank you so much for having us, Katie. We are so happy to be here. I think when you think about data protection, it's certainly not a new trend, right? It's certainly not new to the owner of IT at business. Business continuity, has clearly been a core piece of IT infrastructure for a long, long time. I think, though, that the rise of digital transformation over the course of the past, 5 to 10 years has put data in the position of being truly the lifeblood of today's modern business. So especially when you think about the mid-market and enterprise, data is literally everywhere. And it's become this, critical piece of the puzzle around competitive differentiation and growth, right? So as a result of data becoming super important to today's businesses, you've got two challenges coming at you real fast, right? And each alone creates a ton of complexity and FUD, but together they are creating the need for more consistent eyes within IT business units. So this data growth, this idea, number one, is the data growth tsunami. And both the velocity at which data is being created and the variety of that data is insane, right? So this data deluge is producing more data than we could ever think possible. This stat always blows my mind. By 2025, the world will store over 180 zettabytes of data, okay? 90% of today's data was produced in the last 2 years. So, and the tricky part is that the majority of this data being produced falls in the category of unstructured. And that creates a ton of complexity when it comes to customers managing the data. It becomes hard to predict. Storage management challenges arise, and the increase in capacity over time can start to be really costly. And so data comes in different forms, different sizes. It's difficult to manage, difficult to analyze, which explains why it's starting to become sort of a major challenge for most companies. And of course, obviously, second challenge is that we're continuing to deal with cybercrime, specifically ransomware. This is a consistent, pervasive threat, and it's legitimately become, an epidemic in our industry. We've got these bold, brazen groups out there that have tactics and techniques being leveraged, and they're reaching a whole new level of sophistication. So this consistent evolution of ransomware also brings increased difficulty in protecting networks. If there's a vulnerability, they're going to find it. So the combination of these two challenges is really resulting in more data to manage, more data to protect, and most likely more data to recover at some point, right? So this requires the VAR and the solution provider community to make sure that customers have all the things, right? Everything possible in their infrastructure for a first, a last, a middle line of defense or protection, as well as recovery options that are quick, they're fast, they're seamless, and they bring the organization up, if compromised at all, back to productivity as quickly as possible.
Well, you started to touch on it right at the end there, Janine. Quick, fast, easy to integrate solutions. So what solutions are customers in need of right now that can open new business opportunities for channel providers?
You set the stage, right, that these ransomware corporations, these nefarious entities are getting smarter. They're getting more sophisticated. And again, if there's a vulnerability that exists, they're going to find it and they're going to leverage it. And because of these relentless efforts there's this concept of data resilience, right? Which essentially is an organization's ability to ensure that business continuity and productivity is there despite any disruption or compromise. That's the goal, that should be the goal of today's business leaders. And that requires differentiated and innovative data management and protection solutions to achieve that state of data resilience, right? So one very important functionality around backup and data protection is immutability. And simply put, an immutable backup is a backup that cannot be changed or altered. It's that golden copy that can be deployed to production servers immediately in the case of any compromise or disruption, and assisting in that goal of data permanence, right, and net zero data loss. So arming your solutions portfolio as a VAR with technologies that create, this multimodal approach to ransomware, because we know there's no silver bullet, and bringing every possible tool to your customers that help create that data permanence and data resilience, and as much as you can from one vendor, is all goodness for new business opportunities.
Well, that brings us right into our second segment, get to know Arcserve OneXafe. So I think it's important to start off by asking, what is OneXafe?
Oh, that's the question of the day. OneXafe, spelled with an X, OneXafe, because X is the new S. OneXafe is Arcserve's immutable, object-based, and scale-out appliance. And OneXafe combines the advantages of traditional NAS with the superior functionality of object storage, right? And also preserves that golden copy of the data through immutability, right? So when we think about the challenges that I kind of laid out earlier in the conversation, today's data management efforts, based on this data deluge, they require scale out and object-based functionality, particularly when we think about the outstandingly insane growth of unstructured data. Storage will become more critical, right? As the mid-market businesses and the enterprise businesses cope with this growth of unstructured data, because again, they want to gain greater business benefit from the information they keep. So they got to figure out how to manage it, where to put it, what's priority, et cetera. So then adding in that immutability component allows you to have an answer for the more sophisticated ransomware folks out there in the world, right? And arm your customer with tools that bring data protection plus processes that allow that customer to survive ransomware, not just survive it, right, but actually thrive, right? Getting, no fear of compromise. Immutability is that last piece of the puzzle, right? The last line of defense in the ransomware world. It is a copy that cannot be modified, and ransomware cannot touch it. So in sum, this OneXafe appliance brings cost efficiency with scale out, right? Reduced complexity with object-based, and ransomware-proof copies through immutability. So unchangeable snapshots that simply cannot be altered or deleted. And we just launched our 4500 series, our OneXafe 4500 series, and that's this refreshed version of the appliance. It brings even more goodness to the table, things like increased security, larger data stores, improved scale out configurability, so that your customers can really think about maximizing their investments in their infrastructure and lower their TCLs.
That sounds incredible, Janine. So obviously we can definitely see the value right off the top where you talk about OneXafe, immutability, all the good stuff that comes with the 4500 series. But what does a typical sales opportunity with OneXafe look like?
Well, that's the really cool thing about OneXafe, because it has so many great features and functions built into the box that there's so many different sales opportunities for it, right? So I'll hit on a couple. The first one, right, is a traditional NAS sales opportunity, right? So the VAR community can go in and suggest utilizing OneXafe as a traditional NAS device, right, as a central repository for that ever-growing unstructured data to be held in one place. We talked about that rate of growth for unstructured data. So popping it as a NAS, great sales opportunity. You can also recommend it as a secondary storage opportunity, right? So this low-cost repository that has the ability to, offload data from the more expensive SAN, right? This makes it a great appliance for when a customer has a lot of compliance, regulatory requirements. It's a low cost alternative to offload that data and hold it on that appliance. So just right out the gate, two very easy to understand sales opportunities when looking at a customer environment to see if it's a good fit for OneSafe.
Well, let's continue on this topic. And Jeffrey, I want to go to you for this one. What's the easiest way for a VAR to get the solution into a customer environment and, of course, make money while doing so?
Great question. Thank you, Katie. Really, the crown jewel of the OneSafe is its ability just to be a backup target for any customer environment. Right. We talk about how immutable storage is a critical step in keeping your data safe, multimodal backups, like Janine had mentioned earlier. We really like to talk about the 3-2-1 strategy. 3 copies of your data. Obviously, of your primary data, you must have 2 additional backups. Make sure you're keeping those 2 backups on different media, and you must get 1 copy of that data offsite for proper disaster recovery. And we like to talk about the +1, the immutability. Right. So we use this conversation as a Trojan horse. You can treat the OneSafe as a backup target, right? It is a sweet spot, like I said. The ability to take a OneSafe appliance, plug it into nearly any environment, plug and play, and the data will be writing directly to a disk. In most cases, the customer is going to be able to benefit from the hardware dedupe and compression immediately. This resonates extraordinarily well with our account base. Why the OneSafe again? Ability to adapt to an unpredictable data growth. Capable solution, does not require a forklift upgrade. Plug and play like we talked about. Very easy deployment and very efficient provisioning. Data protection, immutable storage, a copy of your data that cannot be changed, and easy disaster recovery implementation.
So Jeffrey, how do you protect the VAR and the opportunities that they bring to Arcserve?
Deal registration, simple as that. We encourage you to go to our partner portal, register an opportunity, name the opportunity. We'll connect you with one of our territory account managers. They'll be able to walk you through the process.
Simple enough. So my last question in just this segment, can you give us an example of a successful sale and margin profile?
Absolutely. Our margin profile or discount for all of our solutions range from 20 to 30%, and it all is dependent upon your level within that program. The OneSafe's average expected margin can be up to 30%.
Wow, that's impressive. Thank you so much for that, Jeffrey. That brings us into our final segment, segment 3, why Arcserve? So first question in this segment, why should VARs consider partnering with Arcserve? A simple question, but a very important answer.
Love this question, right? Very simple. Innovation, strong margins, like we just talked about. Additionally, we're not over distributed, right? So when you're talking to us, you have our undivided attention. Our solution platform is flexible with software and hardware solutions, cloud solutions, offering a right fit solution for any and all customers. We support a myriad of use cases. We quote only list price and above. We're highly incentivized sales force. We have a lot of great incentives. We're committed to helping you to find and win deals together.
Speaking of winning deals, finding deals, what promotions or incentives does Arcserve currently have in play with OneSafe right now?
Yeah, how about all deal registrations you enter are $100, right? Go to our partner portal, enter a deal reg, that's $100. An opportunity, if it's new logo, $250. For every OneSafe unit sold, Janine talked about her 4500 series, for every single one of those that's sold, $2,500 Amazon gift card in your hands.
So this is something I can't just go in and just put deal registration and get it. Okay, just making sure. That sounds like a really, really exciting incentive. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Folks, we're down to the last question of the webinar today. How can channel providers get started with Arcserve and start benefiting by adding OneSafe to their portfolio as soon as possible?
Go to arcserve.com and join our partner program. If you're already a partner, go to the partner portal. Here you'll have access to our existing promotions and have the ability to submit those deal registrations we talked about. Once you do so, allow us to connect you with one of our partner account managers or territory account managers. We'd be happy to discuss product features and alert you to any upcoming product webinars.
Jeffrey, Janine, thank you both for your time today. It's been such a treat talking to you. And thank you at home for joining us. If you'd like to learn more about Arcserve and what we've discussed here today, you can simply visit the web address on your screen. Once more, I'm Katie Bavoso. Thanks for watching.